aboard Poveromo's world of saltwater fishing. Big fish don't stand a chance.
It's certainly no secret that I'm a big fan of fishing in the Bahamas, and for good reason. The fishing over here can be outstanding, whether you're trolling or bottom fishing. It's just absolutely great. And you could find me over here roughly anywhere from 6 to 8 times between April and midsummer. It's just that good of a fishery. This would be the long-range run for us this season. I was going to take my MARC VI from the Lake Worth Inlet in Palm Beach and embark on a 205-mile run to the Abaco Beach Resort in the Abacos. What's unique about this trip is that we were doing this in mid-July, which is not exactly the prime fishing season here. The neat thing about the Abacos is despite not being the prime season, there's always something to do here and catch. On this particular trip, just seeing the sights along the way, in the Sea of Abaco, passing Green Turtle and some of these other famous destinations, the excitement level just builds. So you could imagine once we rounded that last bend of our trip, and here was the Abaco Beach Resort at Boat Harbour, it was a perfect feeling.
We made great time. I was just so stoked. I couldn't wait till the next day to be able to get out there and go fishing because you got there in such record time. The facility was beautiful. You could sit back, relax, and the next day just have a wide open day to do whatever you want.
The Abaco Beach Resort at Boat Harbour is a mainstay in these parts. It is probably the most famous and premier resort in this area. The good thing about this is that you're just a short hop skip away from some of the best fishing grounds in the Abacos. You don't have to run long and hard across the sound to get to deep water. The deep water is right there. You could jump off to some great fishing spots out front. You could round the bend. You're within proximity of most of the great fishing locales here. And what was neat about our particular trip was that one night after dinner, inside the restaurant, they had a talent contest where all the employees would go out there and actually compete and sing songs and dance. I mean, normally after dinner, you go back to the room, you get a good night's sleep, and you're ready for the next morning, but here was something to add at least another good hour to maybe 2 hours worth of entertainment. And after watching everybody, and they were all absolutely great up there, if I had to cast my vote for one winner that I thought, I wouldn't say head and shoulders above everyone else, but pretty darn close, it would have been Anderson. He was really something else, and if there was any big booking agent that happened to be there that night, I think he would have been signed to a record deal. And no, I'm not trying to work my way in to be a judge on American Idol. I'm just telling you what happened there that evening. Starting to see color.
So we're bottom fishing. Everything's looking great. Started getting to some strawberry grouper, nice size ones. We went ahead and boated a couple of them and vented them, sent them back down so they get a little bigger, and we continued fishing. And all of a sudden I look over and here's George. He's hooked up, and I mean, he's got something just screaming line off.
Man, tough, Carl, tough.
The battle's turning, and once you get his head turned, he might give up a little bit. But till then,
well, it's easy for you to say standing over here on the side.
Yeah, I don't feel anything.
And you could tell that this is Amberjack City here. And the way an amberjack fights, it's sort of like combining a very strong, powerful run, maybe much like, say, a tuna in the initial stages, converting that fight over to something that would be along the lines of a big, stubborn grouper that's going to try to fight and stay in that territory.
Now here, are you sure it's an amberjack? Or maybe, just maybe, there's this big black grouper that was chasing the amberjack that was chasing the cuda and came up and seen your bait and ate it.
Then I'll hold it out here and wait for the blue marlin that was coming in and chase everything else that was eating in the line.
Just positive thinking. I like to keep
I'm with you there.
When you're fishing in 150 feet of water and you hook into a fish that wants to get back to that wreck, and you're trying to get him up and he's trying to go down, I mean, them things just have no give in them. They just pull and pull. I mean, it is on. You're just tugging, and he just has no give in him. I'd really like to see some color on him.
Tell me, take a look. I think I might be getting close here.
Oh, yeah. Big
AJ, Carl. And there's another one, another AJ with him.
Here, let me get
I look down and I see my big amberjack, and there's a second one following it. We got our fish in. Beautiful amberjack.
Boy, that thing's big.
That thing gave me a workout.
Well, you know, like I said, I was hoping to be bigger than mine, and boy, he sure is bigger than mine.
I know. I'm going to take this jig right out. Somebody gets hurt, hang on.
I'll just set him down a little bit. He's got a little weight to him. I mean, it's just a beautiful looking fish. You're just sitting there looking at all the different colors on it. And we decided, say, hey, we're not going to eat this guy, even though it's one of the nicest fishes to eat. It's a real good white meat, awesome fish to eat.
Vented the fish, sent it back down, went back to fishing. It was a great amberjack blitz. We went through a few more amberjack on that spot, just absolutely great fishing. What's ironic in a lot of these Bahama trips is that I get so tunnel vision to catching fish that in a lot of cases you really don't have time or take the time to savor what's going on the land. You always hear about nippers. People are talking nippers this, nippers that. Were you at nippers? Oh, it was unbelievable. Carl and I decided, all right, let's take a break in the action for the bottom fishing, reel up the tackle. Let's go find this nippers place and take a look at it. So Carl and I and friend Lou Volpe, who was running the camera boat on this trip, joined us to see what this thing was all about. So as we're walking up this little sort of like dirt walkway up this hill, I'm trying to envision what this thing is. When I finally got to the top of the hill and saw just a mass of flesh that was at this place, and I don't know how many people were here. If I had a venture a guess, 200-300, at least. This was a happening place. And then I realized, wow, this is where all the people in the Abacos are at this point in time. It was totally mind-boggling to me. And what I found very interesting and also rewarding at the same time was that how many people actually watched the show, that had come up to me and talked to me and said, what are you doing over here? You shooting the show? We love your show. We watch your show. We decided to hang out there for about 2 hours or so, chat with some of the people. And then we decided, let's get back in the boat, go back out, and see what the ocean had in store for the rest of the afternoon.